Welcome to My Only Pans. Now this is a guide to camping fry pans, skillets, whatever the hell you want to call them. And we're going to figure out what's best. Stainless steel, non-stick, cast iron, or spun steel. This is not sponsored by any pan manufacturer. This is a proper just guide to what works in the bush. Let's have a look. Now my plan is I'm going to cook an egg on each pan and see how it goes, and I'm going to show you how to use each pan because they're all a little bit different. To start off with, I'm going to use the most difficult pan, which is a stainless steel. It's also arguably the best pan. Most pro chefs will say they would have one pan that have a stainless steel pan. So what are the advantages and disadvantages? Advantages: it's stainless steel, it doesn't rust, it will outlast my kids. This is a bit dirty, it doesn't matter. I can scrub the crap out of this. I could put a bloody wire wheel on it, it wouldn't matter. And it's induction ready if you use induction, but this is all about campfires. They're just a good thing. Disadvantage: low heat. In order to get a stainless pan to work well, it should really be at high heat. If you're trying to do scrambled eggs slowly in a stainless steel pan, you would have to use a lot of oil or a lot of butter, and I don't know that it would work all that well. There are better pans for that. But for searing, for just like general veggie cooking, whatever, medium heat and above, pretty exceptional pan. Now, let's show you how to use them. First, dry on the fire. I'm going to fry eggs, by the way. I'm not going to scramble them or do anything like that. I'm going to fry these eggs. We want to get that to be kind of medium-ish heat before I do anything with it. That's already pretty hot because it's a pretty hot fire. Now, what that's going to do is close up the pores on the pan. I don't know if that's the correct terminology, but it's kind of, you kind of get the idea. It's going to close up the steel is going to be less porous. And put some oil in there. You can test if it's ready to go by skitting some water on, but I just feel it till it's medium heat and then she's all good. Because who the hell always has water next to them on the fire? You probably should for safety, but I don't. Let that oil heat up. Now, anyone who's used a stainless steel pan and doesn't know how to use it will know how bloody sticky they are. You put an egg in this and you are just, it's a recipe for disaster. It's going to go everywhere. It's going to be a shit show. So, crack an egg in. Do as I say, not as I do. You should crack it on a flat surface. I don't have a flat surface on me. Break the yolk, all that kind of stuff. This is not a recipe, not a video on how to cook eggs. I'm going to do that though. I'm going to do an egg recipe. I'll show you all kinds of ways to cook eggs. Now, that has not stuck at all. Also, I can use steel implements on it, no worries. Look at that. If that's not non-stick, I don't know what is. That is as slidey as you like. The only bit that stuck was a bit on the edge where I didn't have oil. So you do need to use a bit of oil in this. You can't just do this dry. But look at that. And then to wash this, all you do is chuck it in, just quench it with cold water while it's still hot and it'll be perfect. Egg numero uno. I'm going to give that a very high score for an egg cooking pan. But, as I said, scrambled eggs, that kind of thing, low heat stuff, it's not going to do everything. Nothing here, I don't think, does truly everything. Another advantage of stainless steel, see how I can hold that handle despite it being ripping hot? That's because stainless steel is a very poor conductor of heat. Which sounds like a bad thing, but it's not. It means that right there is boiling, right here is still cool. Like that's actually cold. Next, probably the most used, the most popular on the internet, I don't know, everyone loves cast iron. I'm the opposite, I don't carry cast iron. I don't hate it, I use it at home all the time. I just don't carry it in the bush because it's heavy and I think there's a better alternative. Let's heat that up. Now you need to wear gloves for this one. Now, you can put oil in cast iron whenever you like. But you need to use quite a lot to make it non-stick. Okay, that's heated up. So we're gonna doing pretty well. The trick here is also, it's cold. You want to wait till it's kind of firmed up on the bottom, started to get some crispy edges before you do anything with it. Now, good thing about this is you can do low heat stuff. If it's well seasoned, they are pretty non-stick. You can use steel implements on them. They are bulletproof. That again will outlast my kids. They are a very, very, very good general purpose pan. And if you want one pan that can do everything, a cast iron pan will absolutely do that for you all day, every day, and it'll never die. And you can get them fairly cheaply. This is not one of those cheap ones. You can see that's not sticking. Okay, now, yeah, that'll dance around, but you have to use more oil to make it dance around. And it does have some bits here that are stuck on. They come off relatively easily. I wouldn't say as easily as the stainless. So, performance-wise, I mean, disadvantages, you have to season it. It will rust if you let it get wet. It's more hard work to get similar kind of non-stick properties as stainless. It's just, they're a labor of love, right? So if you care about your pans and if you're good at caring for things, these are unreal. That's good. It's a good fried egg and the pan looks great afterwards. Disadvantage, that is going to be hot for about 9 hours. Spun steel, AKA lightweight cast iron. So it's the same material technically, it's still steel. It's able to be seasoned in exactly the same way as cast iron, but it weighs 75% less. That's huge, particularly with big pots and stuff. So camp ovens, I'm a big fan of a stainless steel camp oven. Performance-wise, it should be the same. Also, you can find some of them like this one. This is a little OXO outdoor one, and it's got removable handles, which are all metal, so they can go in the bloody fire and not die. So that's lighter, more compact. It kicks some goals. Now, if I was going to take one pan, I suspect it would probably be this. However, that doesn't mean I don't take a stainless one, because I'd love a stainless one. And then the last pan also has a place in my heart. Oh, rock's probably a good place to crack it. Okay. That also heats up much faster and cools down much faster. People think that for some reason there's a difference between cooking with spun steel and cast iron. If you're used to cast iron, that you can't go to spun steel, that it'll burn things, it'll get hotter. It doesn't get hotter. It gets the same amount of hot spots. It gets hot faster, but it gets to the same temperature. There's no difference. But the other thing is it cools down faster. So overall, I actually prefer using spun steel to cast iron. Look at that, still sliding around. But again, it'll rust if you leave it out in the sun. Sorry, not sun, in the water. Let it get rained on. You don't dry it properly. The way to dry them, by the way, is put them back on the heat. So you wash it up with whatever you want. People say no soap. You can absolutely use soap on them. Don't use like a wire wheel on it unless it's cooked. But yeah, these things can be restored. If anything happens to it, you can bring them back to life. You can just take the surface off, re-season it, good to go again. Bloody long lasting, light, inexpensive, very, very good things. Does a very good steak sear. Last, the old non-stick. This has been through hell. You should not use metal implements on it. I just splashed hot oil on my face. You shouldn't use metal implements on it. It's not at all designed for high heat. In fact, like really not designed for high heat. You can use the tiniest bit of oil, so if you're very health conscious, it could be good. This is amazing for a couple of things. Pot stickers, AKA dumplings. If you want to do them with like the lacy edges, which I've done before for the Chinese meal, for cam, a non-stick pan is kind of essential, because in order to have really low heat and non-stick and not be sitting in oil, which was the crucial bit for a pot sticker, you need to have a non-stick pan. This is just like, it's idiot proof, right? It's lightweight, it's made of aluminium, but then it's covered in Teflon. Teflon is not great for you, but it is practical. Is it as non-stick as the others? No, that's the crazy thing. It's the only one that's marketed as non-stick, and it's probably the stickiest of all the pans when it's hot. But everyone uses them. You can get them at Coles. They're like 15 bucks. Everyone's got a leftover one, and that's what most people take camping. And I think the dumbest thing in the world is a Teflon wok. Because high heat makes Teflon come off, get into your food, and can make you sick long term. See, look at that. You're never gonna get this to slide around. Never in a million years. But you can get it off relatively cleanly. It doesn't rust. It's completely maintenance free. They're just not that good. And that's not anything against this particular brand of pan. I actually quite like this brand of pan. It's Cedar Summit. It's a good pan. Oh, I might be able to get it slide. Yeah, I can get it slide. Only after a while. But like right now, it's probably on too much heat. And I wouldn't be stoked to be serving my family dinner time and time again on one of these. I'd be very happy to do on any of the others. This will wear out, the Teflon coating will die, and it might last 2 or 3 years if you're lucky. Put in the dishwasher, you'll cook them pretty quick. Put them on high heat, you'll cook them pretty quick. If you have a dedicated one at home that does low temperature scrambled eggs with a nice silicone stirrer, no worries. It'll make you great scrambled eggs. You're probably not gonna get sick, you're gonna be fine. For everything else, nah. Bugger that. So, the conclusion, the winner. For me, it's this. The handle is hotter. It is hotter. I'm gonna put that down, the handle is actually quite hot. It's light, it's inexpensive, it's practical, it does pretty much anything. It will last forever, it can be restored. It's a very good thing. Price difference between that and a high-end stainless. High-end stainless, you're looking at about 2 to 3 times more money. So we're talking about nearly $300 for a high-end stainless. It's a whole different thing, whereas that's closer to 100 bucks. There are a bunch of brands that do them. You can get like a Hillbilly, you can get an Oxo, you can get all kinds of different brands do them. You can use the lid of your Southern Metal Spinners camp oven. There is some good stuff out there. I definitely recommend one. If you've got a cast iron and you're looking at replacing it, maybe put that in your kitchen at home and put that in your car to save yourself a hell of a lot of weight and a hell of a lot of trouble. Anyway, that's it for this week. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next week.